Good evening. My name is Steve Knutson, and I work with Fairfax County's Department of Transportation. And I want to welcome everybody tonight to this meeting to discuss the traffic calming plan for Willow Drive. So we can start off with introductions, and tonight from FCDOT, we have Ryan O'Carroll, Grace Vaughn, Nicole Machakwe, Jared Lumbeg, and Ebony Smith. And also from the Springfield District Supervisor's Office, we have Pete Knox. Nicole has a short presentation to go through, and after the presentation, we'll open the meeting up to the community for any questions or comments. And if any of the community's task force members are logged on to tonight's meeting, they can introduce themselves following the presentation. Peyton, would you like to say anything before we start?
Nope, we'll leave it to you.
All right. Nicole, if you're ready, you can go ahead and start the presentation.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Steve. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting, and thank you all for joining us. Tonight, we are going to discuss the traffic calming program for Willow Drive. To start, I just want to note that Fairfax County Department of Transportation and Fairfax Connector operate programs and services without regard to race, color, and national origin in accordance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. So for more information on Title VI, it's available on our website that you can see on our screen here at www.fairfaxcounty.gov/connector/Title VI. Okay, so please note that this session is being recorded and may be shared on social media. Please hold all questions until the end of the presentation, and instructions for how to ask your questions will be provided at the end of the presentation. So we are here today to explain the traffic calming process, provide an opportunity for community feedback, and answer any questions that you all might have. So let's start off with what is traffic calming. Traffic calming is the installation of physical devices to reduce vehicle speed. These devices can be either vertical or horizontal. Vertical devices are driven over, such as a speed hump, as you can see in the upper hand image. And horizontal devices can be driven around like a raised median island, as you can see in the upper right hand image. Both types of devices make the road safer for drivers and pedestrians. And I would also like to note that through this process, we are not permitted to install stop signs. Here we have charts and images showing the effects of decreased speed. As speed decreases, visual acuity, field of vision, depth perception increase. Also, with the reduced speed, we can see a decrease in stopping distance. Here is a map displaying traffic calming projects across Fairfax County, with over 279 projects resulting in more than 665 devices installed countywide. Every district has implemented a traffic calming measure, so the chances that you've driven over one are very high. CDOT and the District Supervisor's Office collaborate with citizens on all these community-initiated projects. The current program can be broken up into 5 steps. Step number 1 is project initiation. Step number 2 is plan development. Step number 3 is community engagement. Step number 4 is ballot phase. And the final step is step number 5, which is project installation. So to start off with step number 1, all traffic calming projects are community initiated. The process begins with a request from the community to the District Supervisor's Office. Once the request is received, FCDOT will complete a basic eligibility review. If eligible, FCDOT will then conduct a traffic study. And if the eligibility and traffic study requirements are met, the community then will form a task force. To meet the basic eligibility requirements, the roadway must be VDOT maintained, have a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, be functionally classified as local, collector, or arterial, and if it's a collector or arterial, it has to be a residential street. Once passing basic eligibility requirements, we move to conduct a traffic study. For the volume criteria, we need between 500 to 6,000 vehicles, 24 hours, both directions combined. For Whisper Willow Drive, we had 534 vehicles, so we met the volume criteria. For the speed criteria, the recorded 85th percentile needs to be greater than or equal to 10 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. So what this means is that 15% of vehicles will need to be traveling at 10 miles per hour or over the posted speed limit or faster in at least one direction of travel. So the 85th percentile speed was 37 miles per hour in the northbound lane and 35 miles per hour in the southbound lane, which means that Whisper Willow Drive met the speed criteria as well. So the next step is plan development. FCDOT will conduct a site visit in the field in order to develop a draft plan. Once a draft plan has been developed, FCDOT will meet with the task force to obtain feedback and amend the plan if necessary. Then once the task force is satisfied with the plan or the draft plan, property owners directly adjacent to any proposed measure must sign off on the device placement before proceeding to the next step of the project. There are device placement requirements for vertical devices. The device must be a minimum of 300 feet between measures and from existing stopping conditions, a minimum of 150 feet from intersections, a minimum of 150 feet for continuous sight distance, and it also has to fit on the existing roadway, so we have to consider any driveways, manholes, utilities, and also account for the grade of the road. So based on those requirements, we created a field map that gives us an idea of where we can place a device. Highlighted in green are possible locations where Whisper Willow Drive. After reviewing the field map, we then conduct a field review to see if the device can fit on the existing roadway. Based on available options and our site visit, FCDOT is able to propose one speed hump along Whisper Willow Drive. The listed address are the property owners who needed to sign on the adjacent property forms before we could move on with this project. Here we have a speed hump schematic. The speed hump is 12 feet long and 3 inches high at center. There will be white chevrons in each travel lane and a speed hump sign with recommended speed of 15 miles per hour on either side of the device. This is a larger image of what the speed hump would look like from the side of the street, with it being 12 feet in length and 3 inches in height. So moving on to step number 3 is community meeting, which is where we are here today. At this stage, FCDOT presents the plan to the community to gather feedback. Based on that feedback, the task force will decide whether they want to amend the plan amend the plan or move to the next phase. If the task force decides to move forward, we will then move to ballot phase. So during ballot phase, each occupied property in the ballot area will receive 1 vote and send it directly back to the district supervisor's office. The ballot time period will be open for a minimum of 3 weeks, and the supervisor's office will tally the votes and notify the task force of the results. On this slide, we have an example of a ballot. The proposed devices will be listed on the ballot, and the community will be voting on the entire plan. The task force is responsible for distributing the ballot package to everyone in the ballot area. There are 3 ways to return your ballot by the deadline. You can mail in your ballot directly to the supervisor's office. You can hand deliver your ballot directly to the supervisor's office, or you can email it directly to the supervisor's office. Please note that all ballots must be turned in directly to the district supervisor's office using one of these 3 methods. Any ballots collected by the task force will not be counted. Here is the ballot area map for Whisper Willow Drive. There are 121 ballots. In order for the proposed plan to move forward, we will need greater than 50% of all occupied properties to vote in favor. So that this means is we will need 61 yes votes in order for this plan to move forward. And if the required number of yes votes are met, we move forward to step number 5, which is project installation. The traffic calming plan will be presented to the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors for endorsement, and the resolution will be sent to VDOT. Once endorsed and VDOT accepts the resolution, FCDOT will work with the Department of Public Works and Environmental Services to schedule installation. And then finally, the traffic calming measure outlined in this plan is installed. After tonight's meeting, the task force will need to follow these next steps. So step number 1, the task force notifies Fairfax County if they would like to move forward to with the presented plan. An optional meeting is available to meet with FCDOT to review the balloting process. This meeting is highly recommended to ensure a smooth balloting process. The task force and the district supervisor's office notify FCDOT if the ballots in the ballot area are to be distributed to the property owners or occupants. The task force completes the ballot cover letter provided by FCDOT, including the task force contact information, ballot received by date, which is the close date, ballot close date, and any additional message the task force would like to include. The task force sends the completed ballot cover letter to FCDOT for approval, and once approved, they will receive the ballot package. And the final step, the task force will need to print and distribute the ballots to all properties in the ballot area. So this concludes the presentation, and now we can move on to the questions and answers portion of the meeting. You have 2 options to ask your question, chat or speak. Once the chat item is activated on Teams, you can use it by typing your question in. If you want to speak, please click the raise hand icon or raise your hand icon. And once the host calls on you to speak, you can unmute yourself by clicking on the mic icon or pressing Control-Shift-M on your keyboard. Please lower your hand once you are done asking your question. If you are on the phone, please press star 5 to raise your hand. Once it is your turn to speak, the host sends you a unmute request. Press star 6 to unmute yourself and ask your question. Once you are finished, please press star 5 again to lower your hand and push star 6 to unmute yourself. At this time, please feel free to ask any questions you may have, and we will be happy to answer them. Thank you.
I see the first hand from Anki. If you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, you're free to ask your question.
Sure, thank you. I would like to know, as far as the height of the device is concerned, is there a specific criteria that is used to determine how high it should be? Should it be 3 inches high or 5 inches high, or whatever the height might be?
Steve, you're on mute.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Yes, it is 3 inches high and this is the design that we have from VDOT. So these are VDOT maintained roads, and we do have to use their design for this device.
Thanks. Thank you.
And there is actually a speed hump on Autumn Willow Way between Whisper Willow and Stringfellow if you want to go and drive over it and see exactly what it feels like to drive over what's being proposed.
Right. The height of that speed breaker used to be a lot higher than now. In the recent past, they reduced the height of that device. And that's why I was wondering if this is just a new design, or is there a height criteria that's used to install new devices?
So yeah, again, there is a height criteria that we use to install the devices.
Sure. Because I personally felt, I live in the community. I'm on the HOA board of the community, and I'm the president. And I personally felt that 3 inches might not have that calming effect that we would be looking for, because the road is long, and sometimes people don't care, and then they simply go over the minimally high speed breakers very quickly still. So that's one thing that I have noticed.
And the height we do feel is appropriate for the 25-mile-an-hour posted speed limit on this road.
Sure, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, you all are much more experienced. I'm just trying to get more info on how this is selected and everything. So thank you so much for answering my question.
All right, thank you. And so Nicole did mention that after this meeting, the task force should reconvene and decide if they want to go ahead and move to the ballot process. So that is an important decision to be made by the task force. And then they would just need to inform the supervisor's office. Peyton Onks would take that information and convey it to our office. And then we would probably want to organize a follow-up meeting to go over the ballot process.
Yeah, and that meeting, we do make it optional, but we definitely do highly recommend it because at this point in the process, you want to make sure that every step is followed so there's no hiccups along the way.
I see the number ending in 6114 has their hand up if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself for your question. It should be, there you are.
Go ahead, Grace. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's *6 to unmute for the person with the number ending in 6114. So *6 should hopefully unmute you on the phone.
Okay, this is Delia Valentine. Am I unmuted now?
You are,
Yeah.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Did you say that you had already been out and marked the placement for the speed hump?
We have. So it's marked with white arrows at this location. Unfortunately, I guess you're on the phone, you're not going to be able to see it, but we did send this presentation to the supervisor's office, and Pete can share that out with the community. But it is in the utility area between what streets are those? It's just a little bit north of Hartleaf Court.
Okay.
It's similar. I think there's a trail, a common trail that your community uses. It's a little bit between that and Harcourt.
Okay, I think I know where it is. I think my house is 2 houses down from it. I think I've seen it. I didn't know what those markings were, so now I know. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And like we said earlier, we did share the PowerPoint slides with the supervisor's office, and they can share them out to the community. Also, this is being recorded, so that should be made available fairly soon after the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
And if you are having issues with your mic or can't raise your hand, feel free to type in the chat, and we'll definitely read out your question and answer anything that you all might have.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead, Louis.
Hey, I understand the street is not that long. So one speed bump is gonna be enough for that street, you guys think?
We were hoping to get more devices on here. We identified a couple of locations, but unfortunately, we were not able to get those properties that were immediately adjacent to the proposed device locations to sign off. So we do hope that, we do see some speed reduction with this one device. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the other ones signed off.
Got it. Because I think two would be perfect, but I see where you guys are at. Thank you.
Okay.
Nariha, I see your hand raised if you want to go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, I was gonna say something. So looking at the map, looking at where it's at, do you guys believe that that's the best spot for it to be at? If we only
Unfortunately,
have one to work with?
it was the only location where we could get sign off from. So it's the location that we were able to move forward with to take to the community.
Got it.
It's not, the ideal just having one, but, we did try to get other locations signed off and we weren't successful.
Understood, sir. Thank you, and my apologies for asking. Thank you.
No problem.
Hi there. I just wanted to introduce myself. This is Nirja. I did raise my hand. I wanted to share that I was one of the task force members, and we were sort of working on this for a while now, and we came up. This location was selected. The other ones we did not pursue actually. So my question is, if we want to get another sort of device in, especially by Willow Drive, as I don't know, just a thought, what would we have to do this whole process again in the future?
In the future, if this is successful going in, then there would be like a 2-year wait period before you could re-enter the program. And then the road would have to requalify and go through the same process. So, if you do want to consider more options at the locations that we did find compatible to proposed devices, we can hold off and try, try to get those device locations signed off, and then reconvene another community meeting, and then go to the ballot process. Which probably is something that you should take under consideration.
And the other question is, if when folks are voting on the ballot, do they have a choice of voting for the whole program, or one device versus another, or none or all? Are there specific options, or just yes or no?
Right, so it's going to be for everything that is included on the plan. So right now it is just the one device that would be considered, but if you do add other devices, it would be for all devices that we're able to include in the plan. So it'll be all or nothing.
Okay, that is good to know. I will talk to the task force and their opinion as well.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't understand or catch that last part. Was it you're a little garbled and a little quiet? So
Speak with the HOA and figure out if you want to amend the proposal or move forward as is.
okay, all right, great. We will wait to hear back from you all on that decision determination. Nicole, if you want to put up the contact sheet, contact information. So we do have some contact information here. If there are follow-up questions after tonight's meeting. So if you want to reach out to Fairfax County DOT, you can email us at dotinfo@fairfaxcounty.gov and just put in the subject line Whisper Willow Drive traffic calming, or you can call 703-877-5600 and ask to talk to somebody about the Whisper Willow Drive traffic calming project. And then for the Springfield office, that would just be springfield@fairfaxcounty.gov with Whisper Willow Drive traffic calming in the subject line, or you can call 703-451-8873 and ask to talk to probably Pete Knox about the Whisper Willow Drive traffic calming project.
Thank you all very much for everything you did.
Oh, thank you. And we'll keep the meeting open for a few more minutes. We're not seeing anybody else's hand come up. Did we ever have anything go into the chat? Do we know?
Is there any way you guys can send us this recording by any chance?
Yeah, so what we'll do is we have to actually, Teams is a little bit difficult of easy sharing, anybody outside of the actual meeting. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to send this to our communications team. They put it on our YouTube channel. And then we'll make that link available, and we're going to send it to Peyton Onks once it's available. So it should be a week in order for us to do that. And like I said, once we have the recording available to share, we'll share it with Peyton Onks, and you can always reach out to the district supervisor's office to ask for that recording.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I didn't see any questions in chat, Steve, but I'll keep an eye out and watch for hands as well.
Thank you, Grace. And we'll just keep the meeting open for a couple more minutes in case there are any last questions. And like we said, the task force should reconvene and determine their next steps. All right, it does seem as if we aren't receiving any other questions or concerns. So I think we'll go ahead and end tonight's meeting, and everybody have a wonderful rest of their Tuesday night, and good night.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.